What is up, YouTube? This is iWang815, and today I'm bringing you guys the top 10 most expensive sneakers of all time. Starting off with number 10, we have the Air Jordan 2 Eminem The Way I Ams. These were released with only 313 pairs online for only $110 retail, and now they sell for over $4,500 in the resale market for a brand new pair. There are only 313 pairs released to symbolize the Detroit area code, which Eminem grew up in, and these are a very iconic shoe within the entire sneakerhead industry just because of what it represents and how limited and special these are. This shoe also symbolizes how high a sneaker can be priced in the sneaker market, because while these released at $110, now they're worth over 40 times that price. Next up on this list at number 9, we have the Air Jordan 5 Motorsports. These were made as a PE for the Michael Jordan Motorsports team. That's a player exclusive if you're not really into sneakers. But while now their team really isn't doing much, he's kind of gotten out of the whole industry while he had a bit of interest into it. He did make a lot of shoes based on that team, and only 23 pairs of this were released. So these are very limited, and although they do sell and have sold for a lower price than the last sneaker, which was number 10, these do sell out more easily, meaning there's more of a demand for this, even though people list it for lower prices. So in my opinion, these are still much more valuable and are much more expensive if you're looking to get your hands on them, because they sell out instantly, even at $4,000, unlike the Eminems. Next up on the list, we have DJ Clark Kent's 112s with LeBron James. They collaborated on the LeBron 8s and came out with an insane pair of shoes. While these shoes were never released to the public, just like the Motorsport PEs, DJ Clark Kent really did help spark a whole craze for PEs and started hyping everything up, because most people had never seen player exclusives this limited before. And in addition, the way he designed them in his 112 pack were insane. And nowadays these shoes go for over $5,000 brand new. Number 7 on this list has to be the Air Yeezy 2 Red Octobers. For those of you guys who don't know how these released, they were actually retailed for only $245 and released at a random time on Nike's Twitter account. That was one of the craziest days for almost all sneakerheads, and for those of you guys who were lucky enough to get them, they now resell for over $5,000 easily. The Yeezy line with Nike and Adidas is inspired by Kanye West's designs on his shoes, and almost all of them now resell for over $1,000 each. With number 6 on our list, we have the Nike Dunk SB Freddie Krugers. These two feature the famous red and green striped sweater with bloodstains on it. On the insole you can see that as well, and you see it all around the upper of the shoe. While these shoes have declined in resale value over the past year or so, the dead stock price for these on average is still above the Nike Air Yeezys as well as the other shoes in this list. They go for about $4,000 on average and still sell out each time. With number 5 on this list, we have the Nike Dunk Low SB Pigeons. To give you guys a brief description about how hyped this release was, only 202 pairs were released in 2005 and retailed at only $200. So everyone there knew how much the resale value was going to be later on. Only 30 pairs were actually released in store at Staple in New York City. And for those 30 lucky people, they actually had to be escorted out the back door into a taxi that was waiting to pick them up, because there are riots going on and stick-up kids on every single corner in New York City at that point.
Take a moment in silence so you can call me your highness, king of the jungle. Where the fuck is my lioness? Houston rhyme is the finest. We putting all the
Number 4 is one of the craziest shoes of all time, the Nike Air Mags. These were the shoes that were featured in Back to the Future Part 2 with Marty McFly and were designed by Tinker Hatfield. The reason these are so unique is because they actually worked to make it just like the shoe that was in the movies, and actually have a rechargeable battery that lasts for over 3,000 hours and lets the shoe light up. In 2011, they weren't able to perfect the power laces, which would lace themselves up as shown in the movie, but there are rumors that they will be unveiling in 2015, and if they do, I definitely will be coming out on advice on how to get these, also with news on the release and the technology of the shoe. Nowadays, these shoes go for over $8,000 brand new. Finally, moving into the top 3, we got the Nike Zoom LeBron 4s in that Fruity Pebbles colorway. These were released in 2006 as another player exclusive and were actually worn by LeBron in-game. These only had 100 pairs released, which is the reason why I ranked these on top of the Air Mags. The Air Mags had 1,500 pairs, while these only had 100 ever released in history, so in my opinion, that pushes it to the top 3. These are actually very similar to the Fruity Pebbles on the LeBron 12s, so if you like the idea of Fruity Pebbles but you're not willing to pay over $8,000 to get a pair, then you can stick with the LeBron 12s and pay just a fraction of that price. Number 2 on our list has to be the For the Love of Money SBs. These were an extremely exclusive pair of shoes, and only 24 pairs were made in the entire world. While they do have another version of these are also known as the FLOMs, as an abbreviation for the love of money, noting the currency from all over the world on the upper of this shoe. These do look a lot less appealing, but if you don't want to break the bank, then you can get these for $250. If you do want these extremely exclusive shoes, you'll have to pay over 10 G's and pay $11,000 for one pair in size 8. The most expensive sneaker of all time is the Undefeated Air Jordan 4 collab. These were never released to the public and only had 72 pairs ever produced. The price of these ranges from $20,000 to $30,000, and while these aren't the most aesthetically appealing shoes with that olive green, orange, and black, these are definitely the most valuable shoes of all time. And while that is the case, you can tell right here, this guy just doesn't care. This concludes our top 10 most expensive shoes of all time video. While there might be a bit of misinformation just due to market fluctuations, as well as not being able to track every single sneaker, such as the FLOMs as shown here, these aren't on the site, but I still want to give a big shout out to Campless just because they compiled all of this down, and I used a lot of their shoes on here in the top 10 when I researched them. I know these are for sure accurate as of October 11, 2015, and I'll definitely be making more of these as time goes on and as more shoes come out. I do come out with sneaker news, info on how to get shoes, tips, tutorials on how to save money, and other videos with top 10s. So if you guys enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment what you guys think or any suggestions for next videos. I'll see you guys next time. This is iWang815. Hopefully you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.